Hello friends, welcome to the VC chat room. I'm Olga Afanasieva and we're continue talking to leading venture capitalists across the globe about the new reality, entrepreneurial journey and many other things. Today's guest is a long-term colleague of mine and I very much appreciate to welcome him today together with you. This is Alexander Galitsky, the managing partner and the founder of Almaz Capital. Almaz Capital is one of the most active venture capital funds in the region of Europe, and it has offices across the world. And despite of the crisis and quarantine that we were facing the recent months, Almaz announced huge deals where it was leading partner, and we have a chance to ask him about that. What do you think will happen next? Like, do you think that when we all go out, travel more, cross-border, will some of the patterns, some of the habits that were introduced in this COVID period still stick to the business routine? I mean, more Zoom calls rather than like one-on-one meetings or something like that.
Yeah, for sure, COVID changed some attitude how we'll work and definitely will influence for a long time and possibly forever. So the people found that it is lot of trips which we did before, they was not so needed, and we have ability to achieve many stuff online. Anyway, we well understand that in our business, which is always a stage where we cannot get too much analytic from internet, when we cannot about the company or to get a lot of analytics about people who did already claims and did some PR activity, and we can see what's actually they're thinking and doing. So we need to have personal meeting to see body language, since it is very difficult to replace, and to see reaction of the people, since we see usually face, but we don't see how hands operate, we don't see how our legs operate in the discussion, and it is pretty important to find out during the personal meeting when you would like to touch the personality somehow, and to see team attitude between members of the team. It is also difficult to see online. You need to see that you operate with team, and you need to understand the team is stable and have a very good relationship. So by this way, if you look on our investment, we did most of our investment in companies with people who we know well from the past, with some exception. I will be not precisely right, since we did some very far investment in Austrian company. We even didn't see each other face to face. So by this way, we just was excited by the entrepreneur, his vision, his team, and we just decided to join investment.
Was it the investment during this pandemic, or it was?
Yeah, it was happening in pandemic time.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe you have some tricks, you invested, as you told, like for example, the recent companies like Mobilytics and DMarket, which are originated in Ukraine. Some of them, one of them was your portfolio company previously. With the others, I'm sure you've met like in person, one-on-one, like saw the body language and all these things. But some of the, like many of the early stage companies, they raise capital for the first time, and some early stage VCs like pre-seed or seed, they also invest in the company while they may not see it, which is like kind of typical situation during the COVID. So maybe you have some, like life hacks, something from your experience on how to raise capital and how to find the company where to invest, like just without, just with the face.
Well, it is, speaking about Mobilytics and the market, it is difficult to compare for COVID times, since Mobilytics we know for a long time, and we like follow them and know them, and it was easy decision, I will say. With the markets, again, I met Vlad many times, and he's so impressive person, and his team so impressive. So it is like immediately told it is the right person. So you actually fall in love in team, since in general you will spend with them long time. Yes, so a long time, and you need to trust and believe in this team. And if you see the response, and you see that they're pretty well established from point of view of thinking, their strategies, their visions, their great ideas which they dream about, and we look on them and told, okay, as I told for anyone, 30%, if they will accomplish 30% of their dream, it will be a great company. And from this perspective, for us also was pretty critical to see how we'll react for this Trip Hawkins, since we know him for a long time as well. And we organized meeting. It was very important that it happened, personal meeting between Vlad and Trip, since Trip also told it is a great guy. So he fall in love in vision, in everything, and told I definitely would like to be on board to this company. And for us, it was again some mark check, which you see. So by this way, life hack will be to find someone who is valuable enough on the market, who treasure his name, who treasure his reputation, and who will take over and say, yes, you're on the right track with the right people. So it is possibly pretty important for us as well when Trip agreed to join the board and to be the part of the team from this perspective. So we thought, yes, it is for sure. And Vlad, yes, so Vlad is pretty compelling and pretty special person as well. So by this way, with many companies, we're going through this process. And it is why I told this personal touch is very important. And you need to see people and to see how they operate, how they react, even how they drink coffee. So it is pretty important too.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. One of your offices, I think its main office is in Portola Valley. On a personal note, is one of my favorite offices in Silicon Valley because it's like a house and very cozy place. So the Silicon Valley venture capital culture is all about being very close to the founders and to the portfolio companies. So you can arrive to them in 20 or 30 minutes, but not in 10 hours flight. Do you think this will change, or do you think this is changing after the pandemic?
We need to look on the change from different perspectives. First of all, many funds depends from their LPs. Yeah? So, when someone told, yeah, we will become pretty not so aggressive, we'll be waiting or something. It is the reason since they are looking for the LPs, how LP react on the COVID. Since many LP becoming with smaller pockets, some LPs becoming less interested in something, and from this perspective, many venture funds hold on or something. Silicon Valley culture will not change, of course. Yeah, so since they have a lot of deals over there, and by this way, we cannot compete with top-tier venture funds right now. At least right now, I hope we will do this in future. But in general, right now we cannot compete. We would like to partner with them. And from this perspective, we are doing this ground job, which is we will not change, since our companies we can find in Silicon Valley, like Hover, for example, which has, 300 people working for them right now in Ukraine. But in general, we can find some company in Silicon Valley, like NEVC, in 20 minutes drive, 30 minutes drive, we have Hover there. But anyway, it is not our model. It is part of our model, two-way bridge, as we told. But in general, for us, more interesting to find some jewelry over here. As we told Almaz, Almaz has, of course, different meaning, but as we know, it is not brilliant, it is Almaz. And it just requires some polishing before it is becoming some real diamond here. So from this perspective, we need to find this in the ground where we know culture, where we understand people, and where we understand many things, mostly culture. Yes, so mostly culture is very important on this territory. And class model will not change.
That's true. And talking about LPs, did their mood change? The LPs of Almaz Capital, as far as I know, are big tech companies like Cisco and also international financial institutions, which are traditionally, like cautious and careful in unknown situations. You have EBRD, IFC on board. How all of them and maybe your potential LPs for the next funds react to this situation? Are they open and ready to provide capital now, basically?
Yes, we signed in, we didn't announce yet, but we on the way to sign some LPs on our second closure of our funds, and it just looks everything going according to process. But we are lucky also that we met before face-to-face. Since now it will become more difficult. And from this perspective, they just waited results, what companies will invest, how the fund will develop. And we very careful when we pick up some family offices or some private people who invest in the company, which is also very loyal since cash now is important to use right, and some people find that venture capital actually is the right place to put some money, some risky money to play. And from this perspective, we didn't have any, let's say, yet I will do knock on the wood, but we don't have any like claims or something from our LPs that they will have some problems or troubles or something they will meet soon on their way. So by this way, it is like not easy time to build fund, I will say, but we will learn how to do it as well. So, and now people understand that actually building actually any collection of the money becoming online as well. I saw that few startups which is now tackling actually idea to even to NGO to create online platform to invest in everything. Before they did a lot of charity meetings and everything, but right now they also going online. So it is like world is changing. We will move to online many operations, and it has changed actually industries, since many guys now not only like to produce cars and give them to lease, but also to produce some complicated equipment and gives this to manufacturing in lease, not to sell, for reasons that you can optimize your support team, your development team, and to be more better in service for your customers. So by this way, if you speak in even like hard machine industry started to think, okay, I will not sell this machine, I will lease this machine, but I will optimize my support service, and it will bring a lot of stuff. So we'll see many stuff which will change our life, it is for sure.
Yeah, and like the companies that we've already mentioned, like Mobilytics, Dmarket, PetCube, and others, are syndicated deals, and you do many syndicates, and all these deals are about building relations and keeping these relations with investors. I mean, yeah, you have invested with a lot of top-tier US-based investors, with UVCA members and many others. How do you build and most importantly keep these relations with the investors?
No, it is the same. Well, it is becoming like how to name, circle of trust or friend circle. You can name you differently. So by this way, it is when some people ask me, can you introduce me to some venture capitalists if you're not investing in me? And it is pretty naive question if I don't know project well, or it is not my territory of project. If I'm not investing in health industry and somebody sending me health industry and asking, can you introduce me to someone whom you know? I know many people, but will I introduce? Not really. Reason is very simple. I don't know quality of this stuff. And if you bring for some bad quality and bad suggestion, you will stop to trust to this person. So in our case, this circle of trust is very important, and you need to build and maintain through good deals. If you compare Almaz 1, Almaz 2, and even Almaz 3, you see how our quality of our partners is growing. And it is very important to have pretty quality partners for whom you can call and share the deal, and they will join you. So by this way, for us, syndicate is very important, especially since you need to build next level of investment. You did Series A, now come a Series B, somebody need to establish new actually venture round with new cap. And from this perspective, it is pretty important to have so-called trust. So it is how it works. So we maintain this carefully and support during our investment, our travels, and everything.
This is also good advice for startups on how to approach investors. Do be insistive, but don't terrorize the investor if it's not his field.
You need to keep relationship, it is for sure. You need to keep relationship. As we keep relationship with our LPs, even who didn't put money in us, we send them some report, we send it them since we know it is long life, and we will raise fund in, usually it is in next 3, 4, 5 years, you raise the next fund after you started one. So from this perspective, someone not join you in the first fund, he will join you in fund 2 or fund 3 even. So if you're speaking about like Middle East LPs, it is taking years. If you're speaking about Japanese, it is can take your life. But from this perspective, it is long perspective of relationship which you need to build. Same for entrepreneurs. You need to keep relationship with VC. Possibly they will jump in the second round. Possibly they will lead second round. Possibly they will finally will not support this startup, but will support next one which you will start to build. So it is like his history, which is pretty important.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Let's continue on the entrepreneurial side. What advices, apart from this, you can give to the founders who want to approach you, like how to do it, maybe where, considering that normally you were traveling a lot, like visiting a lot of conferences, now it's online speeches, but anyway, it became more difficult because like there are no conferences offline actually. So how can founders reach you out? Because here in the region, Almaz Capital and you in particular are, I would say, even a legend. Like people would like to get in touch with you. They are asking for introductions. Yeah, like to cut my long story short, like how to approach you and how to pay your attention to the company.
It is few suggestions. First of all, I see that a lot of people knocking my Facebook. And if somebody listening and knocking after this or before, I decided it's not so right place to communicate, especially I am sitting on 5,000 subscribers and somebody leaving, somebody like leaving for reason, someone I just removed from my friends, let's say, for some reason, since they didn't respond alone for many stuff. But it is not, and I have a lot of knocks to my Facebook door from many people, and from Ukraine, many. And I'm sorry that I cannot open this opportunity to many of them, or since I don't know people, and someone looks interesting. It is not the pics and nice lady who is with nice looking face and he knocks. Okay, we are friends, yes. So. It is not my business, and same for guys who sending me some request for invitation. I'm sorry, even like some people is very valuable. I see from point of view of market position and influence, I will say, on the market in Ukraine, but I just cannot open, and for me it is not best way to communicate. Same for Instagram. Instagram for me close stuff, and I don't would like to share. It is not my idea to become blogger or to speak about something. So from this perspective, it is like this. And the best way to communicate with me or from other, it is actually send mail to Almaz or to communicate through LinkedIn and openly my LinkedIn now not belongs to me, it belongs to Almaz as well. And my assistant is actually a operator there. So with this way, everybody needs to be pretty with a good idea why they come and would like to be connected to me. The main idea is a great business or a great partnership or something which they would like to introduce, and to be short and to present what's actually idea of this communication. And in this case, it's best for me still email in some kind, and just loan goods, since many people sending me some presentations and I didn't respond. And why I didn't respond? Since I don't know what to respond. You need to understand, if somebody not respond to you, it is not that they didn't read it. They sometimes they just don't have time. And the second one, they don't know what to answer. Since, first of all, everybody needs to learn what Almaz is doing, where the interest of any partner of Almaz exists through their previous investment, and in the companies, in which companies they was members of the board, which they led and everything. And if it does not match me, possibly I will send to my partner. But if no one is interested in this company, it is difficult to pass and you don't know what to answer. Since people did not learn that we are not doing, for example, I don't know, I got from Ukraine some proposal to develop some stores or to build some new travel facilities or something. But it is not our business, and I'm sorry, it is sometimes pretty good proposal and pretty nice sounds, boys or ladies, but it is not our business. Please read what we all about. And after this, like, let's say, be right and connect with right proposal. That's all. Pretty straightforward. Learn us about us and don't take money if you don't like us. So you need to due deal us as we due deal you. It is the main point. If you see that we are not so right to you, okay. So.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I would like to remind for those who are watching us here online that you can ask questions. Just write it in the chat or in a Q&A session, and there is a chance that I will articulate it. Actually, we have one question about the industries and the like priorities that you have. Is sustainability one of the important priorities of Almaz Capital at the moment?
Yes, in some kind, yes, for sure.
Yeah. As a reminder, you're in, not for you, of course, but for the audience, you invest in the B2B companies, in DeepTech. Is there something like particular you would like to invest in that you are looking in within this narrow niche?
You know, it is for us. It is it is nothing special exists. It is reinventing of the IoT industry right now through edge computing, and we pretty focus on this area since we understand that artificial intelligence going on the edge, and some decisions need to be done on the edge. From this perspective, we are looking for all stack of this. Opportunities. Same for us, it is like what can be done in data centers, I will say, in some artificial stuff when you're speaking about some specific industry, but not in general speaking about artificial intelligence, but about some applications around it, about some industry which pretty required. It is possibly one of the major focus for all VCs right now. Of course, we are looking for marketplaces, and I still like not understand, like we're speaking about VC, and was just pretty young boy which disappeared from my like story, like chat roulette guy who builds a chat roulette where he turns a wheel, and you can like see as a person and started to speak with this person, and if you don't like it, you stop and turn wheel again. And I thought, why nobody created this for venture capital? Yeah, so why for people who are actually try to get money and people who would like to put money and not have this chat roulette, since You can say, I have 1 hour per week or 1 hour per day, which I'm ready to spin the wheel. And I will spin the wheel and some entrepreneurs spin the wheel and we possibly will meet. For me, it will be the better way to know people and to find something interesting. But people mostly interested to find personal relationship by this way than to find stuff. So speaking about it, we are interested in different marketplaces. We are interested in how it can be done the best way. So it is possibly the main our stuff. But if something happened with good sound innovation, or something happened with some improving of video, something, it is also for us interesting to see, of course. We started to invest in hardware more like precisely something to do in this direction as well, since we understand the full stack need to have some good solution, not just from top, but in bottom. So by this way, we're pretty open for B2B and deep tech opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see the question about that I'm speaking too fast in English, and will there be a recording of the interview? There will be a recording on the YouTube on the VC chat room. We will post the link here in the chat now, so you can subscribe and not miss Sasha's interview. There is also the question from Maria Siltsova. She's asking, during the COVID-19, companies have rushed to video interviews. What role do you see AI having in online interviews, since face-to-face interviews are getting rarer and rarer? AI and online interviews.
Yeah, it is, everything can be AI. Yes. So first of all, interviews can be simple, since you would like to find job to be, I don't know, cashier in some store, or to be some automatic reviewer can go through your profile, and give you a lot of questions you need to answer. And it can be done by analytically and say, okay, this has score 40%, this score 70%. And if the 70%, after the some human will speak to you and say, okay, this is done. So it just can be done in many, many, many applications, I will say. So by this way, you just need to see it. Is where I told, interesting applications, always interesting. So we know that chatbots mostly move to right now for artificial intelligence or discussion or even answer of the calls came to this direction. So from this perspective, sometimes it is annoying, yeah. So, but it is becoming better and better. So from this perspective, it is a lot of opportunities in different places, I will say, to this lady.
Yeah. Thank you. The next question is from Alexey Agafonov. He's asking, what are the chances to attract investments in United States of America for the product that proved its business model on the market of Russia?
Not really. If it will done in Russia or Ukraine, it is the people from US looking at this market as a pretty, let's say, personal relationship market. The proven that someone started to use your product will bring not too much. Some companies with names, possibly companies like banks, which has international recognition, if we're speaking about fintech, but US regulation are completely different again. So, but companies who prove, I don't know, Yandex, Mail.ru, or some visible other companies, or companies who generated from these territories, like, I don't know, Viam or Acronis started to use you. So it will help. But this company has name, it has references, yeah. So, but if you started to sell to, I don't know, Rosneft to some other, so it will be questionable. Yeah. So by the way, you need to prove yourself somewhere else.
Yeah, and well, the part of the question that I find with the obvious answer, but still I want to read it. Will not a good enough knowledge of English become a barrier? Well,
yeah. First of all, we need to understand that Even me, my English not so good, and I cannot put myself on the top of super international corporation, or even like in some complicated discussion, I'll prefer to use my partner with native English. For reason is very simple, since between lines actually a lot of local culture. And the second one, local reaction, how people react on some words and everything. And from this perspective, especially in business, I make this example. We all like when some foreigner come into Ukraine and start to speak Ukrainian language. And at the beginning, it sounds very interesting and very funny and very like, okay, is this guy trying? Or this lady are trying, but it sounds very, very interesting. But after hours of discussion of some complicated questions, you become a little bit annoying. So since person is not enough understand what you're speaking about, or you not understand. From this perspective, when you plan to do it, English is pretty important. Even you speak with some accent, or you're speaking with some wrong grammar, but if you need to be fluent and understand fluently, it is for stepping in. But when you started to develop business, definitely you need to hire local people, and it is the most difficult task.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we will wrap up because I promised you not to occupy you for a long time. And the last question. I believe that the leader is the reader. So I'd like you to recommend, I'd like to ask you to recommend one book which is very important to read for founders, for investors, for people who want to develop. It should not be obligatory, like something related to venture capital investing, but it can be.
No, the best book which I found pretty compelling about everything, it is Bad Blood. And reason for this, it is not new book already, but this book showing actually how everything is like underground and off ground is working. And more important, it is clear that each entrepreneur, actually any person, would like to present himself, his product, everything better than it is on this stage. And it is this line between truth and lie. And this book, since it is built around the health, it is why it became so visible. But you can see how many bad blood actually exist in venture capital and entrepreneurial world. And it is important to find your line. And this book helping to do it. I think it is pretty important to read to everybody.
Yeah, to keep staying in the journey of fundraising.
Yeah, not only, but in developing company and actually how to live your life. Yes, it is pretty.
Yeah, it is. I really, I cannot say, well, enjoyed and was impressed by the whole situation, which is actually still happening. The founder of this company is still under investigation in California. So let's see.
Yeah, but main point that any entrepreneur who is doing techie stuff, he just not harm life of other people so much. But when he like sell himself more, or present his dream more, not achieve dream, and actually becoming, it is a line where you like started oversell and didn't achieve, and you become a liar. It's pretty like thin line, and it is very important to find this line for each of us. So.
Yeah, thank you for the recommendation. For those who are watching us, we will leave the link here in the chat to subscribe to the YouTube channel and watch this video maybe slowly and take notes in order to gain more experience. Thank you a lot, Sasha. It was very interesting to talk to you, and I'm very happy to see you today.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, bye for everybody, and success to everyone in this difficult time.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, it was VC Chat Room, which is powered by me, Olga Afanasieva, and my soulmate, Olga Stolarchuk. See you later, and don't forget to watch videos and do cool stuff, whether it's investing or is your entrepreneurial journey. Ciao, ciao.
Okay, bye.